My name's Rob. I like to talk about Stihl's chainsaws and how to start and how to assemble the chainsaw together, and some other tips that go with it. Here I have an MS211 to give you an example. To put the chain on the bar and the bar onto the chainsaw, they're all similar, they're all the same, there's no different. But I'll go through each one just to give you an idea. But to start with is the MS211 that I have here. They all look like that when they're finished. When you get them, they'll be in unassembled like so. So I'll go through it all so you're aware of how it should arrive in the package. So let me just put this on here. So the chainsaw would look like that. That's the unit. That's the chain loop which you get in the box. That's what we call a guide bar. Is the chainsaw loop that goes around. And we'll call this is called a scabbard. This is just the cover to go over the actual machine. You get a manual with a little book. It has many languages. And then you have the chainsaw spanner. Okay, so simple and easy. What you do is you undo the side plate here. And excuse me, well, I've done a demo with this chainsaw, so I need to clean this, and I will do. So what you do, you'll get the chain loop. You make sure that the actual chain is facing, as you can see, the sharp point is facing away, so it'll go clockwise. So when you put this chain loop on, the sprocket, what is the nose, will be facing away from you. You just sit this chain on there like so, so it sits in the groove and it goes around, spins. You can spin it around freely like that. Once you've got it on there like so, you then put the chain guide bar around the sprocket, which I'll explain to you. That's called the sprocket here. So that spins round, and that's connected to the engine, to the motor. So when you start the chainsaw, this will start spinning around and engage the chain. Just to explain to you as before that, so you can understand. The chain oil comes out here, and chain oil I'll explain to you in a minute. Just want to show you that here at this moment is where the chain oil comes out. So it's quite, when you've used it quite often, you'll be surprised of all the sawdust gathers here, and it'd be good just to clean it now and again. So I've got to come to you here at this moment. So placing this chain, you place it around the sprocket, and then you just put on here. Well, I'll show you in a minute. You place it so the pin goes through the hole. So just here at this moment in time, and I'll explain to you because it's not very, it's got to be clear on that. So what this here is the tensioner. So what happens is when you go clockwise, this little pin here will push the guide bar forward, and that's just to readjust the guide bar so the chain is taut. So what it's all about is getting this, and believe me, this is a bit awkward because I'm not in a comfortable position, but I try my best. So sliding that chain on there, around the sprocket, and you look for that hot pin, so that hole just sits on there nice, but that chain, if you don't mind, I'm just going to reset that so it's on. That chain needs to be around this sprocket fully. That's it. So it looks like that. Okay, so the chain is sitting nicely on the sprocket, that pin is through, and now the guide bar is nice and flush against the body. When you have that, you put the side plate on, and then you just don't put it tight, you just make sure that's just on nice and neat. So it's embraced, so there's no gaps. And as you can see, there's no gaps there, it's all nice and flush there, etc. Right, and as you can see, that chain is going around nice and smoothly. But however, it's a bit what we call a bit sloppy. So to tensioning that, you get your socket spanner, and it's got a screwdriver end. Just here, where it says positive clockwise, you just, if you watch closely, if I turn that, you can just see now that chain is getting tighter. But you don't want it too tight, because there'll be too much strain on the motor for it to spin round enough time to cut the wood. But you don't want it too loose. That's still too loose. You just want the chain to be pinning when you pull it up. That's still, it's getting there. Now we're talking. But you don't want it too tight. There you go. It's like an elastic band. You've got it just there. Now, believe it or not, after a few uses, you will find that will loosen up. It's just because the rivets will get warm and they'll just end up need stretching. Not stretching, but the bar needs pushing, so it just has a bit more taut in the chain. And when you're happy with that, which I'm happy, you then tighten the side nut as hard as you can, and then you just double check that it's still moving around the chain. Let me just check that. That's nice. Yeah, that's perfect. If it was too difficult for me to pull, then I know it's too tight. Alright, so now here we are. So now we've got the chain together. With regards to putting petrol and oil in the right places, you've got two chambers here, and I love these fuel cap safety device, because it stops the actual fuel cap vibrating out when the chainsaw's working, so it disappears. But it's not rocket science. A lot of my customers come back because they've broken it, because they've put it in the wrong way. But it's not that bad. When you can see here, and I'll just explain to you with these fuel caps, you've got a black mark there, and there is a mark in here just to put in place so it locks. It's easy and simple once you know how. So going back to the fuel, you've got petrol to go in there, which is two stroke, and you have here your engine chain oil, which you put in here. And this chain oil will lubricate the chain. As I mentioned, there's a hole on the other side to keep it nice and moist, or lubricant. So that's where you put your chain oil, which I have here. You put your chain oil in there, and then if you was to put your petrol, which I have here in this can here, I've already put petrol in there, you put your two-stroke petrol in there. Question is how much you just keep oil do you put in there for your chain oil. You just keep topping it up. You soon notice if you haven't got any oil, because it'll be burning, it'll be making smoke. And the trick is there's 3 points or 4 points of getting a clean cut. First of all, sharp chain, or let's put first of all, it's the right way round. Second, sharp chain. Third, there is a bit of tension in the chain, it's got a bit of spring to it, it's not too sloppy. And fourth is to make sure there's oil lubricating the chain. So once you've got all that together, it's easy to start, very easy to start. It's got it's called this ergo system, so it enables you to pull this with no problem at all. But as you saw in my other video that I did with my dad, it can happen that you over choke it, flood it, and it just needs a bit of time. But here we have what we call an easy single lever start. To enable you to get to full choke, you have to squeeze the trigger, press that down all the time, and all you need to do is pull it until you hear a cough, or it catches and then it pitters out. Once you get that cough and you're happy, flick it to half choke, and then you pull it again, and then it will fire, but you only get 70% full rev. Once you've got that and you're happy, you just squeeze the trigger, and as you'll see, that'll just go on normal setting. So that is simple and easy. And then when you're happy with that, or when you've finished, sorry, you just flick it with your thumb and it will just cut off. Here you have a guard handbrake. And what that's all about is purely for safety. If you do get a kickback, you just do that and it'll stop the chain from rotating, from spinning. So it is simple as that. We also emphasise that safety measures at all times is that PPE protection. These are not your normal gloves. These have thousands of fibres in the palm, at the back here, and in the hand, purely to protect a choke. So what happens is, once that's cut into there, the fibres will go around in the chain and choke it and stop it. If you just have normal gloves, that'll cut through and then it'll hit your hand. And the reason for that, and it has been known facts-wise for safety, if you do get kicked back at an unknown time, this will come at you very quick. And if you're not very familiar with this safety brake here, your first reaction is that to protect your face. And that's when the gloves come into play. If you're not quick enough, and this is the other part of PPE, which is also has got other features. It's obviously protecting your face from chippings coming at you very quick, and obviously the noise. This is ideal. It's got the protection for your crown, so if that does come back, that's going to just skim off that, and that's it. You're done. Well, not done literally, but your safety-wise, it's covered you. So on our website, we've got all these things as well for you. I will come to you on the filing, because that's a great thing about the filing. It's simple and easy. We've got a file. I'll come back to you on my other videos. I have that as well on the filing. If there's any other questions, just give us a call or email me. We've got some great prices on these at the moment. We've got some really great deals coming up in September, which we will be putting on our website. Yeah, any questions, give us a call on myself with Rob at apsgardenmachinery.com. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Take care.